9 to 12 years old on the energetic stages of child development. 9 to 12 is an interesting stage. It's an interesting stage because this is where the child starts to define themselves in connection to the world outside of them. They start to learn and develop who they are as an individual outside of them. However, that is still incorporated in the family, incorporated in the mother, in the father, in the siblings. Okay, so there is still that safety of the family around them. This is the stages where the child will go to school and come home and tell you about their best friend Bob, and then the next day come home from school and tell you that they hate Bob, and Bob and them are arguing, and then in a week's time Bob is their best friend again. Okay, because they're bouncing off the people in the world outside of their family, and they come home and they communicate. They're asking the parent to confirm or deny or teach them how to understand what's going on in the world outside of them. So this is where there's a lot of bouncing off stages. Okay, from 9 to 12, when there's a lot of video games being played at home, the child doesn't know how to connect with the family again in connection with who's going on, what's going on. They can't define who they are because they are needing the parent to go, well, you're watching enough videos now, that's not good for your brain, and help them name what's going on for them so they can name it for themselves. Not to put them in a box, to name, oh, you might be feeling anxious at the moment, or hang on a second, you're having a bit of an episode, you've been watching too many videos, you've been playing too many games. Oh, it's okay for your friends, okay, not to like you or get along with you. Help them to be able to feel connected to the world outside. This is where the child bounces off the parents, off the grandparents, off the teachers over and over again, trying to identify who they are in connection to the rest of the world outside of the family. Okay, this is where they want to go into the parks and play with other children, and then come home and go, and they want to spend time talking to their friends, and they're trying to develop who they are in the outside world. And this is because their conscious brain is now running at 90%. Their subconscious brain is only getting around 10%. It varies with children, there's no exact here, but in my child at 10 years old, he still has those moments when he's tired or when he's feeling slightly withdrawn and needs some time for himself, where he goes into the subconscious game playing again. But it's getting less and less and less, and it should be almost gone by the time he's 12. Maybe 13, hopefully 14. I'd like him to stay as young as possible, but I'm not going to let him develop against that. I'm going to let him go at his own natural pace. So from 9 to 12, in the Steiner schooling system, Rudolf Steiner calls this the Rubicon stage. And this is the stage where the children are really bouncing. There's really anger going on. There's already energy of puberty coming in. There's already the separation between boys and girls, identifying who I am in connection to the rest of the world. Okay? Girls, I speak to my son very openly and ask him, is there any secrets you aren't telling me? He goes, none, except for all the girls I like at school. No, I'm not telling you all that stuff. So this is really going on. This is really where they're identifying as male, female, identifying as friends, not friends. They're identifying their connection to the world outside. Okay, and it is scary for them. They're learning to be able to say, no, that's wrong for me. Yes, that's right for me. They go through a stage here where all of a sudden they start eating food they've never eaten before, or they stop eating altogether. They also go through a stage here where they want high-calorie sweet foods, because that feeds into the body, okay, really quickly so that they can use their brain, okay? What I've noticed with the development of my clients and my own children, at between 9 and 12, you have stages of body development, brain development, body development, brain development, and they don't always go together, okay? So all of a sudden there's a growth spurt, and the child forgets this and forgets that and forgets the next thing. The growth spurt comes to an end, and then all of a sudden there's this words coming out, and there's concepts coming out, and there's questioning and wronging you. They're wronging the parent. Oh, hang on a second. My parent, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, They're getting into swearing and allowing themselves to understand and open up to who they are. And it's wonderful. You can hear I'm quite passionate about this. It's wonderful when the child brings that home because they feel safe to discuss all the stuff with the parent. And the parent is just teaching and educating and giving ideas, not wronging or putting down or jumping to conclusions or overreacting. It's about allowing the child to bounce off the parent so that they can be safe in the stage of understanding who they are in connection to the rest of the world. This, unfortunately, to tell you, this is a harsh thing to tell some people, but this is the stage which is the worst stage to get divorced in. From 9 to 12, the child needs that stability of mother and father. If you are going to get divorced, as clean as possible so the parents are still in connection with the child. Under 9, the child can cope with it in different ways. Over 9, over 12, the child is more advanced, more in their brain. They can be reasoned with and understood and go on into an emotional process with them, okay? Now, so it is, if possible, rather not get divorced between 9 and 12 if you can for your children. But obviously you have to do what you got to do. So from 9 to 12, again, there's a lot of emotional development here. A lot of development of, is it okay for me to feel what I'm feeling? Is it okay for me to be sad? Is it okay for me to be angry? How many clients I've had, I cannot tell you how many clients I've had, where I've had to help them release the belief that it's bad to be angry. Because when they're 9 to 12 and they're angry at their parents, the parent goes, how dare you be, don't talk to me that way. The parent becomes angry at the child for being angry at the parent. And they wrong the child for being angry at the parent, but actually are being angry at the child. That doesn't make sense. It's not congruent. So I'm really pleased when my child is angry with me. If I've done something or upset them or said something, or I'll let them play out their emotion. This is what the stage is about. Playing out their emotion, defining who they are in connection to me and the rest of the world, in connection to the parent and the people outside. Okay? Understanding their emotions, hearing them, connecting to them, being with them. Being present with them in their emotions. Being calm with them as they're bouncing with the rest of the world. This stage is about developing your child to feel comfortable being an individual in the world. Having their hair different. Having the hair the same. Understanding why the child wants to fit in. Understanding why the child doesn't fit in. This is what's happening. The child is trying to feel where it fits in the world, in connection to what it's learned from its family. This is the stage of 9 years old to 12 years old. Thank you.